Welcome to the podcast, From One Mother of an Addict to Another. This is a space of sharing heartfelt personal experiences, insightful thoughts, and powerful suggestions, which can hopefully assist and offer strength navigating your journey alongside a loved one facing addiction and mental illness.
Hi, welcome to the episode, I Want to Fall Back in Love with Life. What a great title. Wow, it says it all. But reality is you are not going to fall back in love with life if you are in survival mode. And if you're in survival mode, your return to save your addict that doesn't want help. You are focusing on their daily activities, their daily life, what they're doing, what they're not doing. You can't control that. And most people in survival mode keep thinking that they can help save this situation, find solutions. They can do this. And that's why they're always in this agitated, very sleepless mode of thinking and irrational. And they can't get out of it because if they do, they're going to lose control of the situation because they know their addict, their alcoholic, their gambler is not in control of the situation. And this is what makes someone realize when they're not living life, that how much they miss it and want to live life. And that's basically what it means to want to be able to fall back in love with living. So one of the things I share with people often is if life is feeling like it's so damn hard, then you're not living, right? How are you going to change it? Because if you keep doing the same things over and over again, the same outcome is going to be there. And that outcome is going to be your shoulders are heavy. You feel like you could barely get up in the morning. You can't think about anything else but this addict. Anything else. Nothing's getting in the way. You just can't enjoy anything. You can't watch a movie. You can't spend time with the rest of the family. You can't go to events. You can't go to a comedy show. You can't walk out of the house without thinking where they are, what they're doing. So basically, they've taken over your life. How do you get that under control and for you to be in a healthy state? Well, the first thing is, the only way to do that is to figure out where this addict is. Are they in your home? Are they living in your home right now? Have you given them the ultimatum, you have to leave? Or you can get help. And this is where you're going to get help. You have a rehab already with the phone number, and this is what you say. These are your choices. Otherwise, you must leave. You're taking back your home. Okay. Are you there? Do you feel like you're able to do that? Because sometimes people aren't able to do that for years. What is it going to take to get you strong? I'm not quite sure. What is it going to take you to realize that you love your son and your daughter, your family member, but you can't handle it anymore? It's just too much and exhausting. That is when you need to set it straight. You need to take that step for yourself. You deserve it. And if you're at this place where you are in survival mode, you surely deserved it because most likely you've been dealing with this way too long and been manipulated way too long. So it goes back to the simple beginning. The only way, first, you need to get your home back. You need to get your home environment back. And chaos occurs when the addict is there. So first thing you're going to do is put the ultimatum out there and stick with it. Have a piece of paper. These are the rules you're going to live with in this home. If not, you must leave immediately. Okay, that's number one. Let's just say you get to that place. Okay? And the addict says, fine, I'm leaving. I don't need you. I'm leaving. Because most likely they'll be horrible. They'll say horrible things to you. They're leaving. Okay, they leave. What if they come back in 24 hours? Oh, I didn't mean it. I want to come back. I'm going to get help. And then all of a sudden, all goes back again. Now, yes, it's going to be hard because you're not going to know where that addict is. But you're going to say, I'm sorry, you can't come back. But when you're ready, I have a phone number for you. And you call this number, they're going to be able to help you. You see, you got to take yourself out of the equation. So how do you get to that place? It's just you. It's you being able to convince yourself that there's nothing you could do for this person anymore. Absolutely nothing. Anything you're going to do is not going to help this situation. Anything. And I mean anything. I wish I could say it's different, but it's not. So basically, let's talk about the rest of your family. What is it like inside your home? Do you realize that you're risking your other family members' lives, their well-being, their mental state? Are they acting like they don't want to come home if their sibling is home, causing all these problems, unhappiness? Do they not even want to be around the house as much because they see how you're behaving? Have you given them the time to talk about anything else but what's going on with the addict? Do they see you spending time with your husband, your significant other? Are you disabling and helping to implode the entire family? That's something to think about. Look at yourself. Take a good look at what is going on in that house. Redirect yourself. Because you could spend years focusing, and every little day focusing on that addict. I get it. Because at the back of the mind, it's going to be there. Until you can release it, it's there. No matter what anybody says, that you could try to convince yourself, the family member, but until you start acting in a certain manner to help yourself get out of that survival mode, you will continue to constantly think about your addict on a daily basis and put them in front of yourself. So again, the first step is going to be, are they out of the home? If not, you're going to work on getting them out of the home, and it's going to be quick. And you're going to do it in a fast moving way. One, you're going to have a piece of paper. These are the rules of the house. Are you willing to live by those rules? Are you willing to go to therapy 3 days a week? Are you willing to not do drugs? Are you willing to get help? Are you willing to start going to school again? Are you willing to all these things? Now, the other thing is, if not, you need to leave now. Now, what leaving means is they're out the door. It doesn't matter what they say to you. Oh, I'm going to try, I'm going to change. No. It's either live by the rules or not. Now, honestly, this is the hardest thing I ever had to do. Boy, I didn't stop crying. And when I took him to the airport, because that's where he was going, at that point, his father was enabling him, and he was going to live with his father. And I begged him, and I said, listen, please, don't do this. Let's go get help. He refused. And there was no talking to him about this. Absolutely none. And actually, later on, after one of his rehabs, when he was a little more clear-minded, he actually informed me that he remembers that, but at that, no one could convince him. Nothing I said or did, because he was not in his right mind, and he even told me that. So think about that. My kid, when he was clear-minded, told me what you're trying to get through to your addict is never going to happen like that because they're not in their clear minds. So now until they are willing to go to rehab. Now, I wasn't willing to let them get to that place. I did my own interventions. I got him to those places. That's what I needed to do for him. Some people that didn't have to do that for their kids were able to let them go. And their outcomes were much quicker, and some did work out very, very well for both the family unit and the addict. So if you're not able to do that, it's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. You're doing everything you can to try to get your kid help. So don't be so hard on yourself. So here we go again. Let's start. How do I get to fall back in love with life again? The only way to fall back in love and life again is to have your life back. And as long as you're trying to save your addict, you will not have your life back. You will not be in love with life because it's too hard and it's too heavy on you every day. So now you're going to stop after listening to this, and you could listen to it over and over again. Because the reality is that I've been to your spot. I've been there. I've been done that. It's not you. And I know how hard this is to say it because you feel like, no, I could do this. I don't need help from anyone. I could do this. I'm going to get him back on track. I'm going to get them to go to therapy. They're going to live home. I'm going to make sure he does everything. No, you're not, because it's never going to be that way. And if by now you're locking your doors at night and you're hiding your money and scared he's going to steal from you or she's going to steal from you, then you're already at a place where you can't wait another minute to do what I just said. You have to give the ultimatum now, because you're actually risking everybody else's well-being in that home. So again, this is so hard. I know. I've been there. You're not alone, but you are. I love when they say you're not alone. You are alone. You're doing this. You're making that decision to do it, so you're alone. And you're the only one that's going to be doing it. Now, if your partner's there with you, that's great. You're both together, but you're both alone. Because you have to be so strong to be able to do this. To strengthen it is the only way is to get it in your mind and get used to the fact that you are going to have the addict leave the house. Now, it doesn't have to be this second if you can't do it this second. Heck, it could be next week. But you got to get yourself ready to that place where you're understanding that you cannot live like this anymore, and neither can everyone else in the house. I know someone that I was helping that used to say their daughter didn't want to come home. So she would go to other people's homes because she doesn't want to come home from school and see her sibling acting the way they do and disrupting the whole family. And frankly, they don't want to be around the chaos that's occurred with you, with the rest of the family, and they're more relaxed at their friends' houses. Now, to me, that's very sad. And I know that situation. And it made me so sad. Because you're like choosing between one kid and another. You don't want to let go to either one, but you know one needs your help more than the other. When in fact, they both need your help. Because they're both growing up. And they both need a parent. And they need guidance. And so what you need to do is guide them. And you need to guide your child, your adolescent, that is not leaving the home to leave the house. Because it's in the best interest of you getting closer to loving your life again. And I promise you, it's not going to come tomorrow. It's not going to come next week. But it will come because you're going to work towards it. Because you can't get it tomorrow. And you can't get it next week because there are too many steps in between this and the next step. So try to be strong. Try to think about what I've said. Take it in. Nobody's expecting you to do it this second. But write it down. Write down the things that are going to keep you from let him staying in the house. Let's see. What is it going to be that you're going to be okay with to live with? And make your house calm. And then, what is it going to take for him to go to rehab? You need to have a place ready, a name of a place, the phone number. You call them and say, I'm going to be giving my child this phone number. If they call, I want you to be prepared. This is his name, their name, and I will get them to this rehab. Now, that might not be today. That ultimatum that's going to come, either you stay in the house and listen to and follow my rules, or you've got to go leave the house. Now, leaving the house is one thing. Staying and following my rules, sure. You could start off with, this is how you're going to get help, and you're going to go to an outpatient therapy for 3 days a week. That's fine too. If your child or adolescent is willing to do that, great. That's a great first start. To me, most likely, Don't be surprised. They're going to walk out. They don't want to deal with your rules. They don't want to deal with what you're saying. No drugs. You got to go to therapy because they're in that state of mind that nothing's wrong with them. Don't you understand? You put it on yourself that you know something's wrong with them. You've taken that pressure on yourself that's not sitting on their shoulders, which totally makes sense for them. They don't feel it. So now that's where you're at. And it's going to take you time to get past this, and that's okay. You might need to listen to this every time you feel like you can't take it anymore. You cannot take it anymore. Either maybe your significant other is arguing with you. You're being ridiculous. It's not true. They're fine. They're just smoking a little bit. They're drinking a little bit. They're acting out. Of course, they're teenagers. Of course, they're going to act this way. I was the same way. You might be hearing that over and over again. And now you're fighting two battles. Been there, done that. You know, there's a saying that they say, even when they say about going to rehab, sending your kid to rehab. If the parents aren't on the same page and they don't see that their kid needs help, then don't even bother doing it because everyone has to be on the same page. I never understood that. And truthfully, no matter what, you should try to get your kid help. So I don't believe 100%. I believe that you need to both be on the same page, yes. But if you're not, still work on getting on the same page and still work on getting your kid into therapy and help. So that's where I'm going to leave you. That's what you have to think about. You're not wrong. You've done nothing wrong. It's just taking steps to work towards a life that's better for you to love and to start living again. I hope this helped. I hope you could learn from this and listen to it over and over again. And I really hope that you can be strong to get this done and start living your life, because this is your first step to loving life again.
Thanks for tuning in. I trust this episode brought you insight and strength, offering valuable coping strategies. Stay connected with weekly content, plus follow if you enjoyed, and be sure to journal for your own self-care.